So I don't even know when the last time I did a video update on the addition that we plan to do, but my goal is to get this knocked out, at least get the slab and everything in before fall. It's just been a brutal summer, and coming outside to work was just not really something I was looking forward to. In fact, I don't think we did a whole lot over the summer at all. But we're in getting close to middle late August right now, and I probably want to get back on here and get this done. So I went through and remarked my lines. I got everything marked out where I need to start at, and this slab will get poured first, the 4 foot down here, and that slab will get poured first. So my goal right now is really just to kind of get rock over pretty much everything, but then get it up to the level it needs to be. Here are the parts that are going to be poured at first are. Then I get my plastic over it, work on getting the rebar in there. Got to do the got to do the radiant floors still, and then get them poured. And so it'll be interesting because it's kind of weird quarters. I can't go over here. You can see where the septic tanks are at. It's been so dry, everything died over them. So I can't drive over that area, but I got to get right over here, which is right in front of it. So that's the part I'm going to do last. I'll work from this side backwards and then on out and back to where the skid steer is over there. Those piles of rocks have been there for months, so it'll be good to get them moved. I'm sure the UPS and FedEx guys we really appreciate not having to drive around those every time they come here. So working in these tight quarters, it's really hard to maneuver the skid steer around. But I got most of the rock where it needs to be. The rest is I'm going to have to do by hand. Hand rake it out. I got to get some stakes first, run some string lines. And I forgot I've got to put the insulation down below this too, since it's going to be heated. So because of that, I've actually got to make sure I'm that 1.5 inches or so below the bottom of the slab. So I didn't take that into account when I was putting the rock down, but I know I'm low on the rock anyways, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal to get that leveled off okay. And then on the edge, so you can kind of see this mark still. This is where the form is roughly going to be, and then I'm going to have a thickened slab, so it should be 6 inches here, and then on the edge should be 1 foot, which is the exact same thing that we did on the pump room when we poured that. And that thing's got, you know, 5,000 gallons plus of water sitting on it, and everything else, the bathroom, all there's a lot of weight on there, and it's perfect. I don't think it's even cracked with all that weight on there. So I'm confident this will be just fine. Most concrete contractors will say that pouring 6 inch is stupid anyways, it's a waste of material, but again, I'm saving so much on labor because I'm doing it myself. I can afford to pay a little extra, you know, for concrete to make sure that 20 years down the road it's not causing us problems. And I built the slab, you know, for the barn area like a tank, because I knew I was going to be having heavy equipment in there. I just didn't know we were going to make it into a house at that point. I figured I'd be having, you know, tractors and all sorts of stuff, so I did that, you know, 6 inch slab with rebar both directions, and we really beefed that up pretty good. So I'll go ahead and stick to that theme and do the rest of this the same way. Now he's over there frantically killing a spider.
No, I don't kill all spiders. I just wanted to show her the black widow. Yeah, there's only 2 spiders I kill. The rest of them I don't kill. Hiding that right.
She's a murderer of black widows and brown recluse spiders.
What if it was
Those aren't the only 2 she kills. Who killed them all?
I don't kill them all. Which ones do you kill?
What?
Which ones do you kill?
I don't know. I kill brown recluses because there's literally a billion of them around here. And what?
The cellar spiders. The ones
Oh.
like those.
I absolutely hate cellar spiders. So that's true. I do kill every cellar spider I find. But
But they're harmless.
in my defense, there are a billion cellar spiders and there are a billion brown recluse.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you see a black widow.
Well, they're still bad.
Anyways.
I don't kill the woolly spiders. I love them.
Yeah, we don't. Woolly spiders are our friends.
Yes, woolly spiders are adorable.
Yep.
Fluffy woolly spiders.
That's just because of Lucas the spider.
Probably.
That made you love them.
Yeah, but I already love them.
But also we love them because they kill houseflies. And they don't really do anything to you. So we just let them run around the house and kill things. It's great. Thanks for your help. Appreciate it. So what Valerie and I just did here was to lay out where my corner posts are. And it's kind of difficult because there's rock right under here. So I had to hammer around a few times to find a spot I could actually get a spike into. But I ran diagonal measurements in AutoCAD from this corner. And from that point, there was my known points. Came out in each direction until they got squared up and were pretty good. So kind of like when I was doing the plumbing, I just put a tick mark on there. And then did a little triangle over to there, ran it down. So this line got lined up because I know it's 4 foot off the wall. So I went 4 foot from here to here, and then way down there I did 4 foot from there to there. And that way I know that this line is straight with the house, parallel to the house. And then we ran our measurements to get that dot right there, running from that corner and my mark over there. Ran a triangle down to this end where I also hit rock. Luckily I'm up in the mound a little bit so it wasn't too hard. And then ran a measurement from there to here and from there to here. And then again, I made a little tick mark there, right there, and then ran a triangle back. So when I run my forms now, it'll be pretty easy. I just have to go on the outside of that line and then put my forms up all the way around. And then the rock I got in the middle is not going to be enough. So I'll get all the forms in, and I'll have one section where I can take it out, where I can get in there a little bit better and put some more rock in there. But for right now, this is a pretty big step forward, since nothing has happened out here for months. I mean months. I mean like probably a year. So, but anyways, getting to it now finally. I'll take the rest of that rock and just smooth some around the outside maybe tonight. But I can't do anything in here until the forms are in, until this area is poured, but I can put a little bit of rock along the front there. So what the idea is, we'll have a thickened slab around this whole area because they're going to be load-bearing walls on top of it. When I get to this kind of covered porch area, and then the fireplace is going to be right here, this is just going to be a 6-inch slab. I probably will not do a thickened edge, but I want all of this to slope away. So everything that I'm doing right now is going to be perfectly level with the finished floor of the house, and then everything out here is going to have a slope. This area right here in front of me is going to be exposed to the elements. That area right there is going to be a screened in porch, but it can still get rain through it, and that end is going to be wraparound porch. That's going to slope away from the house as well. So I'll go ahead and get some plastic ordered. Again, the 6 mil isn't good enough. They found that 6 mil you can still get vapors coming through it. So I think it was 10 mil, maybe 12 mil what I bought last time. I'll have to look it up and then get that laid. I only need 1 roll. I'm gonna have extra too. I'll get that 1 roll done. Rebar. Boy, radiant floors, got a ways to go still. So the radiant floors are going to be a bit tricky. So I'm going to try and do it the radiant floors, because I know there'll be a 2x6 wall right here, and right inside there is the steps that go up to the 2nd floor. So I'm going to have to crawl under the steps, drill through right here, run my 4 pipes out, and then down into the ground through the wall, and then they'll space, they'll space out where they need to go. The living room one will just come down. You want to do the outside first. and then it'll zigzag back and then go back to the home run. The one for the dining room will come around. It has to get around where the storm shelter is going to be. We don't have any radiant under the storm shelter, so it'll come out around this way. And this is the reason why I have this little 4-foot section here, so it can come out, down, zigzag back, and then come this way and home run back to the boiler. The only thing I haven't done yet was to go into CAD and make sure my runs aren't longer than 300 feet. The radiant floor we've done so far through the last couple winters has actually worked out just fine. They said the boiler wasn't big enough to handle it, but it really kept everything pretty toasty out. It'll run for a couple hours in the morning and it shuts off pretty much all day, and then the floor just stays warm. I didn't think the floor was getting warm at all, so I turned it off one time, and we thought we were going to use just normal heat because I didn't think the radiant was doing something. And boy, you could tell a difference right away how that floor was, it wasn't cold. You walked across it and things felt great. Turned the radiant heat off, and the next morning I woke up and walked around and the floor was not warm at all. So we definitely know the radiant floor is doing its job. So it's getting a little late in the day. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do anything else out here real quick, and then I'll start working on forms here pretty soon. Okay, I got the bottom of the sheeting cut off because the slab has to be level with the inside finished floor. So the finished floor on the outside has to be level with the finished floor on the inside. In order to do that, I got to cut about 2 inches or so off of the existing sheeting. So right here is my finished floor line. So that's where my form needs to start at. Of course, cutting my form up there until this was off. And I know exactly where my finished floor level is, and then can run out my forms. Just using the same thing I did last time. Had some, I used 3/4 last time. This is 5/8. I don't expect it to be out here, for months like it was when we poured the original footings. Hope to have this done in 2 weeks tops, and we've got no rain in the forecast really, at least for a week. So I get all framed up. Should probably work on that today, and then I know exactly where I need to put in more rock. And then the pest control guy should be out Monday or Tuesday to do the termite. I need to get my compactor out to compact this down and level it again, and then start working on the foam, which I got the other day. It's right there, and the rebar and all that fun stuff. Well, it's next morning, and Barry and I got a decent amount done, but then the sun came out and it got really hot. We spent too much time, and I didn't have sunscreen on, so my neck's a little burned. But we got wrapped around the corner here, so just need to do the living room side. And we got everything pinned properly. One thing we found out was that the original foundation, where the wall on the north side of the dining room was, actually pushed out 5/8 of an inch. So the form, when it was poured, bowed a little bit. Maybe it was a 1/2 inch. But anyways, that threw a lot of our measurements off. Took a little bit of time to figure that out. How we got around it was by taking a string line from that corner clear down to this corner, and then measuring 4 foot off of the corners themselves, and then measuring out to here from the line, not from the wall itself. And I would think everything's pretty well straightened up now. But it's, I don't know, 8 o'clock or so, and it's nice and cool. We're getting into those cool late August mornings, so I'm hoping to be able to knock the rest of this out by about well, before noon. I hope. I got a 1 o'clock meeting to go to, but I just want to get the frame up and get the pins set, and then I'm not sure when the termite guy is going to be out here, but then all I have to do is just level it. And I want to do that in the evening with the laser level. I'll go around and make sure everything's exactly where I want it to be. And then I've used up all my gravel. I spread it out last night in the evening, so I'm gonna have to get a couple more loads of gravel when we do the second pour, which isn't an immediate thing right now, but it should go pretty quick. Well, Barry and I got the corners and the rest of the framing up for our little addition here. So of course the problem I'm running into again is the rock. I got one stake in over there down. I couldn't get anything in this corner, but still what we're gonna have to do is run bracing along the back side of here into the berm. And I'm out of 2x4s to do that with, so I'm gonna pick those up today when I'm in town and then try and keep that form from pushing out on us, because I can't stake it down because there's too much rock. So I'm gonna probably put maybe something along the back, some gravel, dirt or something, and run pieces off into the berm there. And then same thing on this side. Once I get up in the berm, you know, where I had to dig down as I'm hitting the rock, once I get up onto that top area, it'll be fine. Won't have any worries about hitting rock at that point. And then over on this side, we'll get a bunch of rock and we can backfill against it, because there'll be a slab over here as well. So the backfilling will keep the bottom end from pushing out. And then we'll probably run some braces on the top as well. But it's going together pretty good. So this was pretty much 2 days of work, and it's not even full days. We worked on it maybe 2 hours this morning, and probably 2 hours yesterday, and then months ago I scraped the dirt off. So all together we don't even have, we maybe have a day and a half all together in this, as far as the scraping, the moving the old dirt off, getting the material, the rock. Well, maybe 3 days, because getting the rock took a day. So I'll get some more rock, get the bracing out here, and then the termite guy, I hope to get everything gravel wise set before he comes out. I need to compact it first. I need to ask him if compacting it's going to mess up the termite treatment. I don't think it would, but just that vibration kicks a lot of dust and stuff up, and I don't want it to be kicking that chemical up and then me breathing it. So hope I can get everything done before he gets here. I need to go through tonight with the laser level and make sure my forms are level all the way around. We just took a 4 foot level, started in that corner and came around, and everything's level according to that. But we'll get the laser level out and make sure everything's perfect. Tonight when the sun goes down, we can see it a lot better. So just a waiting game now. Well, when I was gone yesterday, the termite guy came by and sprayed everything. He did put a dye in it. It's like a light blue dye, or greenish dye, I guess. You can, in case no one's there, you can see where it's been sprayed. You can't see on the rocks, but I can definitely see it on the forms a little bit. Just probably won't be able to see it in the camera. Anyways, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go ahead and try to shore up all the forms, and then Barry's going to run and get some more gravel for us, more AB3. So you can see how that's pretty straight, but we're going to get it perfect. So I'm going to take a 2x4 along the bottom of this 2x4 here and put it flat along the bottom like this, creating basically a stiff back. Well, I think it's working out as well as I hope. The putting the board in from up underneath is difficult. I can't see if it's pushed flat against the form. If I thought it's ahead of time, this 2x4 I ran along the top, I would have put that lower, and then I could have put this 2x4 creating the stiff back on top of this. That would have been really easy to see. So now I'm trying to decide how easy or hard it would be to lower that down. Well, I wouldn't say it was painless, but it didn't take a lot of time either to drop that down. So I'll go ahead and get this everything dropped down, and it just takes more time, right? Well, Barry's just getting back with the chip gravel that we'll use, a quarter chip. We'll put on top to make sure everything is level before we put the insulation down. And I got finished up putting down all my braces. Now these are kind of interesting because the wall is actually leaning in a little bit. Not much, we're talking about a quarter inch or so. So my anticipation is that it's going to push it back once the concrete gets in there. So these stakes that are buried is buried just to keep the wood from flopping around because it's not actually touching anything. I've got it screwed down to my board there, but it's able to push back just a little bit until it hits the spike. And then it'll be nice and straight, but it's really not a huge big deal because there'll be another slab out here and the wall is going to go right over the top of it, so it's not that big of an issue. The only outside walls right now is that one, and then this one and this one are going to be truly the exterior sides of the slab, and these are all done up pretty straight. The only thing I was just thinking of, I went in and had lunch, and I was sitting in there looking at this and thinking, I'm like, I got the top braced, but the bottom isn't really, there's nothing to really keep the bottom from pushing out. So I'm going to do is go through, and where Barry put in these little braces here to tie the two forms together, I'm just going to take a spike and put them down in there to keep that bottom from pushing out. I'm debating about running to the store and grabbing the compactor. Should probably do that, because I was going to get out here last night with a laser level and level everything, and I got caught up watching a show before I knew it was 10:30. So need to try to accomplish that tonight. I'll probably run into town, get the compactor, go over it a couple times, fill some low spots, go over it again. It really needs to get a good soaking on it, so maybe I'll spray it down first with water. Well, I was just getting ready to throw some water down this, and I forgot it's already been treated for termites. So if I spray water on it, I'm pretty sure that will be bad for the termite treatment. One thing that the termite guy said was that he asked when I was going to get everything done, because it's supposed to rain this weekend. So I'm going to give him a holler real quick and see if I even can do this. Otherwise I'll just have to compact it and call it good. So driving back from Home Depot, when I was there, the guy who did the termite treatment was actually there too. So I texted and left a message earlier, and he was just happened to be there. So I asked him, and he said no, it can't get water on it. He said it's a powder-based product where they put in water and then they put it out on the foundation area. He says if anything, it'll just help it soak down into the gravel more, which is what you want. So he said it's fine. So I called Barry and asked him to go ahead and start hosing it down while I'm picking up the vibrator, the compactor, which is behind me. I really don't like this hat. This hat has always been crooked and a pain. Probably got a crooked head. I don't think any hat ever fits me quite the way I want it to. Barry came out when I was at Home Depot picking up the compactor, and he soaked it down really good. I let it dry, then I came through and just did kind of a quick, splash over it. Compacted it twice in different directions, because your compactor vibrates in one direction. You go the opposite way and it vibrates in the other direction. I don't know if it does anything, but it just seems to make sense to me. And then I went and just sprayed it down again. So I can definitely see some low areas now. When you compact 4 to 6 inches of AB3, it could sink down easily, a half inch, 3/4 of an inch, or even over an inch in some areas. So for example, along the footing there, I had that pretty much right about 1.5 inches down. You can see how low it is between those 2 points, those 2 orange dots. That's where the storm shelter is going to go. So it's gone down quite a lot. I can, just visually see it's low over here too. But tonight I'm still gonna come out here. It's 5 something now, and I'm still gonna come out and get the transom set up, and then shoot, make sure everything's good. I went ahead and put all this rock around the forms. That was probably a mistake, because although we leveled it yesterday, I never put the laser on it. So hopefully nothing needs to go down, because that would be a real pain if I got to knock anything down. I could probably get it 1/4 inch maybe, but not much more than that. So we'll see. I gotta start raking out along the thickened edge, and maybe throw some rock in some small spots I can visually see are low. Maybe hit with water and compact it one more time tonight before I go ahead and shoot elevations, but should be pretty good. If all looks good, then let it sit overnight. I'll go ahead and splash it in the morning, compact it another time, and I gotta get the compactor back by 9 o'clock. And then I can come back out and start putting insulation down.